Hello and welcome to HBM's Crypto-Corner for Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. Almost the end of the year. We have a couple of things to talk about, so let's get started. Bigfoot researcher claims creature may pose a risk to human life. A self-proclaimed Bigfoot expert maintains that there is the potential for Bigfoot to kill or abduct people. Does an unidentified species of intelligent bipedal hominid roam the forests of North America? Thomas Markham certainly seems to think so. Speaking to the Star recently, the cryptozoologist and documentary producer noted that while the legendary creature is only said to attack when provoked, there are historical accounts of alleged abductions which suggest that it may actively seek out possible victims. Without a doubt, a Bigfoot could easily kill a man if it wanted to. The size and strength would be unmatched by a human, he said. But this would be a very rare event, in my opinion. While the potential is there that Bigfoot could do human harm, it doesn't seem to be happening. There are a few historical reports of attacks, but most are only after someone shot at a Bigfoot. On the topic of abductions, Markham referred to the case of Albert Ostman, a prospector who was allegedly abducted by one of the creatures and held captive for 6 days. As Ostman lay asleep one evening, a Sasquatch reportedly picked him up and carried him off while he was in his sleeping bag. He found himself in the presence of several Sasquatch, he said. He eventually made his escape by getting the Sasquatch to try some of his snuff. As always, however, conclusive evidence of this event, or of the creature itself, remains elusive. Now, I will say it's true that Sasquatch can pose a danger. I think it's very rare. And usually, as even Mr. Markham mentioned, it's usually a provoked event. In other words, the creature is provoked to act on it. So, well, there you go. But again, it's a very rare event. Does it happen? Perhaps. But if it did happen more often, we would know about it. As I said, it's very rare. Thankfully. Finally, we have this. Seeing Bigfoot up close has changed my life forever, says teacher turned adventurer. Hunter and researcher Eric James tells of a chilling experience that has set him on a course that will stay with him forever. Explorer and teacher who claims to have had near experiences involving the ape-like creature known as Bigfoot since childhood has spoken of the day in 2020 that he believes he actually came face to face with two of the beasts. Teacher Eric James says he's had encounters of sorts with Bigfoot all his life, and recalls times as a child when he saw massive footprints and strange movements of unidentifiable creatures in the woods. Now, because of his most recent experience, he has decided to spend more time researching and hunting for the legendary beast. He became more convinced of its existence in June 2020, when he traveled to eastern Washington State in the U.S. to visit a friend who had claimed to have sighted the mythical beast. His friend, an outdoorsman, took him to the spot where he believed he had seen one of the beasts. Mr. James told the Daily Star, "I was shining my flashlight out the window when I saw two sets of white glowing eyes shine, looking at us." He said he was blown away by what he saw. The eyes were looking at us shining like stars. They were brilliant, pure white, and had what I describe as little flares coming from their shine. He said that the eyes looked around before settling on them, gazing at the hunters for several minutes. "I had seen the eyes shine of every other forest creature and can tell you that they were like something I had never seen before," he said. "I could just make out an outline of their size, and they were big." They broke their gaze. He managed to train his torch on the creatures. My flashlight illuminated their bodies as they turned to the side. I could see their bodies from the head to down just below their knees. I saw their hair and the muscle tone as they took off at an incredibly impressive speed. Mr. James said his friend pulled out a pistol in an effort to scare away the creatures, but the sound of gunfire did nothing to deter them, he said. The experience had such an impact on him that he said it changed him overnight. He said he felt a strange supernatural feeling descend upon him, taking him back to his childhood. This was the start of the experiences I had last summer, and I'm still having experiences to this day, he said. And now is when I'm feeling comfortable to share my experiences. Since then, he has worked with Bigfoot research teams. During the first encounter, it was like a veil was lifted and it completely changed my life, he said. Since joining the team, he said he has had countless experiences and works tirelessly to try to make progress with research into the creatures. To date, he says he has gathered more than 8,000 pieces of evidence in the forms of photographs and video footage. I believe that I'm sensitive to the paranormal, and that's part of why all this is happening to me, he added. Now I know what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, he may have had genuine experiences, one or two genuine experiences, but to say that you have 8,000 pieces of evidence that are probably all blurry like this, I mean, what exactly is this supposed to be? I have no idea. It could be a bear. It could be a bear. I don't know. I mean, could this guy have Bigfoot on the brain? That's entirely possible. Sometimes it happens. It happens to people. I don't fault him for it, but he should really try and be more objective about his research. And throwing in paranormal aspects doesn't really help his case either. Because personally, I don't believe Sasquatch to be paranormal or related to the paranormal. In other words, ghosts and UFOs and things of that nature. I don't discount it, but in this case, I personally don't think so. I mean, anybody can make claims and not necessarily have actual experiences. They can believe they have experiences, but there's a difference between believing you have an experience and actually having an experience. To claim you have 8,000 pieces of evidence, that's stretching credibility a little too far, if you ask me. Still, pretty fascinating. And that's going to do it for this week. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, but I always mean it. And I'll continue to do this like you guys want me to. And hey, we're going back to weekly, so until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. This is May-HBM's Crypto Corner.